Midwinter crappie can be mobile and moody. Up next, Jon Thelen shares tested tactics for finding and catching these deep water wanderers.
Got him that time. Just had to kind of work with that fish. I don't think he's a giant, but you know, it just goes to show you those first couple fish of the day. They're the trickiest fish because there's a couple things we're doing. One, we got to figure out what they want. You know what? Oh yeah, nice crappie. What am I thinking? Heck, we'll take that all day right there. This is a nice 10-inch fish, you know, 9.5, 10 inches. But here's the thing, you know, you got to figure out what it is these fish want. And that's not just the bait. It's the cadence, it's the action, it's how aggressive do they want it. It's, do you really got to bang it around to get their attention, or are they willing to, you know, just kind of look at it, take their time and come up and hit it? And that's what this fish did. He was down there a long time, him and a buddy, but man, I'll tell you what, fill a pail with those today and that'd be an awesome day. Midwinter crappie fishing. It's a ball. It's one of my favorite things to do. Is, you know, you get into that January, February time frame and getting out on you know, deep, thick ice, and understand that these fish, they're moving out deeper. They're getting out into that range where they're a little easier to find because the weeds have dissipated. But, you know, that doesn't necessarily mean they're easy to catch. And that's what we're going to talk about today, is how to find these fish in scenarios like I'm in today and how to make them bite. Fish in deep water. You know, my transducers showing 32.8 feet right now. I'm probably in, you know, to the top of the ice. I'd probably be sitting in 34.5 feet of water. I mean, this is deep water. It's that time of the year, these fish, when they lose those weeds, when those weeds finally dissipate, and you know, that happens, you know, late December. You start getting snowpack on the ice. Sometimes they'll hang into January. This year we've had a lot of snowpack. It's killed off a lot of the weeds early, and when you lose those weeds early, you know, these fish, they'll have to slide out. They'll slide out into deeper water. He is right on. There he is, got him. That fish just kept coming. Just kept coming and coming, and I moved up on him a couple times. He just kept coming up. Feels like a pretty decent fish. You know, one thing about Lake Winnibigoshish, where we're at today, is there's such a enormous, oh yeah, great crop. Look at that one. Wow, that's an awesome fish. He's even better than I thought he was. I'll tell you though, there is such a great bunch of fish in here. You just never know what you're going to get. You're going to get some small fish. You're going to get big ones like that. That's an awesome crappie anywhere you go right there. But that's one of the neatest things about this body of water, Lake Winnibigoshish, is it's so diverse. I mean, it's got great walleye fishing, it's got crappies, it's got pike, it's got muskies, it's got bluegills. It's really got everything you can dream of, and awesome perch fishing. On top of it though, man, I love the crappie fishing out here. And you know, finding these fish is really a little bit different here, because one of the things I'll tell you is when you look at a lot of bodies of water where we go crappie fishing and we shoot Fish Head TV and show you how to catch crappies, a lot of those bodies of water, I'm going to put a second wax worm on there. You got one of them, but a lot of those bodies of water that we go fish are scenarios where there's defined holes. And that's not what I'm fishing today. Today what I'm fishing is more of a break line where it drops off into the basin, and here's why. There's not really a defined hole here. What this is just an area of the lake that drops off into the, you know, mid to high 30s in depth. And these fish will get out and they'll just roam this whole area. So it's not as defined a hole. So one of the things I do, and I'll tell you, I fish crappies here in the fall every single year. One of the things I do is I look at areas where I catch them in the fall. And when I know that there were weeds there, and that's why those crappies were there, they come out of those weeds in the fall when they start to die off a little bit. And that's the same areas that you're going to start in the winter. Here we go, he's going to bite it. Right on it. There he is, got him. Almost lost him there. Line rolled over the bail. Got a little bit lucky. 2 more down there. Right now as I'm reeling this one up, this is a good one. This is a really good one. As I'm reeling this one up, I'm looking at 2 more on the screen down there. Man, this is awesome. Look at this. You could just tell that was a good one all the way up. Look at that. I'm gonna show you real quick what I'm using. Then I'm gonna get it right back down there. That's another awesome crappie. These fish are just going nuts now. Here's what I'm using. Lindy tungsten bug. Comes in a couple different sizes, size 12 and a 14. That's a hook size, okay? Here's the great thing about the bug. Little bit of a wider profile, okay? You've got the Lindy toad, and what the tungsten toad is a little bit more round head, a little bit skinnier profile. The bug is a little bit wider profile. It's got little eyes on it, and it hangs at a little bit of a horizontal, and what it'll do for you with this offset hook is it'll rock a little bit, and that rocking motion that ends up being portrayed right onto that waxworm, it's actually making these waxies dance up and down. So ultimately, it's just an awesome jig. And with that, it's tungsten, so it's gonna get back down there fast. Those 2 fish are still on my screen, so I'm gonna get back down there in a hurry. But with that wider profile too, in this deeper water, it works great because I can pick it up on my sonar unit without having to crank my sensitivity up or the gain up so high that I'm picking up every little thing in the water column. I'm actually able to leave that gain at a manageable level, and I can still see that little jig even in the deep water that I'm fishing today. And, you know, I mean, they just react to it. They love the action to it, and it's because it's got that little bit of offset in it, which makes it so it's got a little bit of a rocking motion with that bait on it, because these fish aren't chasing real hard. I think they're getting going right now. The bite's getting better, but it's not at it's nowhere near its peak. That's going to happen probably in the next couple days with a little bit of stability again. So what I'm doing is I'm getting right down on top of them. I mean, real close to them, and I'm making it so they don't have to move far to hit it. And it seems to be making them react a little bit better. Another one on me right now. There he is, got him. That seems to be the key, is just parking right on top of them. And if I'm parked right on top of them, now all of a sudden I'm getting them. And man, that's just one of those subtle little adjustments that you can make that can totally change your day. I mean, earlier today, another great crop. Man, we're just spanking good ones now. But earlier today, I was fishing maybe a little bit too high above them. Maybe I was fishing a little bit too aggressive. You know, I mean, there's a lot of different things that go into this. But what I've learned over the years is just constantly changing throughout the day. And you can really put it on them. I mean, all of a sudden, this is just one after another now. But there's a whole bunch of little adjustments that have gone into it. And once you get all of it put together, it gets easy.